What's up guys, and welcome to Myth Busting Mondays episode 54. This is the show where we bust the myths that you guys leave in the comment section below. So if you have any myths you would like to see featured in next week's episode, all you've got to do is leave those in the comment section right now or at the end of the video, and we'll see which ones get featured next week. We are aiming for 3,115 likes on this video guys, but without further ado, let's get on to the first myth of today's show. So the first myth of today's show, guys, is being sent in by boy at TheGamingGuy124, and he asks, can you make the Pack-a-Punch float using the Killing Time Gobblegum after shooting the Apothicon? Now, if you guys don't know, on the brand new map Revelations, to get the Pack-a-Punch, you've got to go inside of the Apothicon and shoot 3 of the things connecting his heart to the walls. And once you've shot those 3 things, connecting those, the Pack-a-Punch will drop down and you'll be able to Pack-a-Punch your weapon. But what happens if we activate Killing Time before we do this? So then the things actually don't break, and then the Pack-a-Punch is still stuck up there. Will it float? And the answer to this is, it won't float in midair, but it will stay inside the Apothecon's heart. If you activate Killing Time before you even do this, you can't actually break the things that are connecting it to the walls. They do break, but you can't visually see it. And the same with the Pack-a-Punch. It literally stays there. But once the Killing Time does run out, it drops to the floor and you're able to Pack-a-Punch. So it's pretty damn cool, and you guys should definitely go and check it out. But let's get on to the next myth of today's show. So the next myth of today's show, guys, is being sent in by Fandom Hub, and he asks, can you use Anywhere But Here to teleport out of the rituals and complete them? Now, we've done these in Shadows of Evil, and you can teleport out of the rituals, but it will stop the ritual and you'll have to go back and redo them. But we also tried them inside of Zetsubou no Shima, and this actually worked. If you did this when you were collecting the Skull Wonder Weapon on Zetsubou no Shima, it actually worked. You could use Anywhere But Here, and it would stop the ritual and technically complete it, so you could go and pick the skull up straight away. But here on Revelations, I can tell you that it does not work, guys. All it does is reset the ritual, so you've got to go all the way back to the ritual point, start it all again, and it'll cost you an extra 500 points, so it's technically a failure. So do not try this, because it will cost you 500 points every single time you try it. But there you go, dudes. That is why I do the myths for you guys, to save you points and save you time. But there you go, Fandom Hub. Thank you so much for sending that in, dude. And let's get on to the next myth of today's show. So the next myth of today's show, guys, is being sent in by Ethan Zanders, and he asks, can you use self-medication without solo quick revive? Now, if you guys don't know, one of the brand new Gobblegums added into the game with Revelations was called self-medication. Now, it basically allows you to go down at any point inside of a game and get revived with all of your perks just by killing one zombie. And it's got 3 activations, and there's no round limit or time limit. So it's really, really overpowered. Let's say you were on round 70 and you got up to round 80. And during those whole 10 rounds, you went down 3 times. You wouldn't lose any perks at all. It's really, really good. But on solo, does it work without quick revive? And boom! Yes, dudes, it does. So basically, you now get 6 full quick revives with just 1 self-medication on the whole game. So 3 normal quick revives and then the 3 self-medication downs. And if, let's say, you've got 10 self-medications per game, dude, you're rocking 33 downs on a solo game, which is absolutely ridiculous. So overpowered, but really, really fun. And it's a pretty rare Gobblegum to get too, so it's not too overpowered at all. So there you go, dudes. Yes, you can get revived without solo quick revive with self-medication, boys. But let's get on to the next myth of today's show. So the next myth of today's show, guys, is being sent in by Dylan Stables, and he asks, can you freeze the monster being zapped by the death ray? Now, I showed you guys before on the previous myth that to get to Pack-a-Punch, you've got to go inside the Apothicon. Now, to get inside the Apothicon, you have to link all of the generators by doing all of the rituals and then setting off the death ray as the Apothicon flies past the death ray. Once you trap him, he gets zapped by the electric, and then you can go inside of him and get to Pack-a-Punch. But can we freeze him in place with Killing Time, then activate the death ray? Will he still freeze, and will this work? I don't know, but let's check it out, boys. So we need to pump that Killing Time in 3, 2, 1, boom! Let's run over and activate the death ray. And Killing Time is still active, but I'm really intrigued about what will happen once Killing Time actually stops. Now, Killing Time lasts for like 20 seconds, and to be quite honest, I don't think he's doing anything at all. I'm assuming once Killing Time actually runs out, it's going to go completely back to normal. So let's check it out, dude. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, it's completely back to normal. So yeah, you can stop him in front of the death ray and actually activate it whenever you want. but it's probably not worth it because it just wastes 20 seconds and a killing time gobblegum that you could totally use for something even better. So yes, you can freeze him, but I don't advise you doing it, dudes. But let's get on to the next myth of today's show. So the next myth of today's show, guys, being sent in by Harry Webb, and he asks, can you use killing time on the launch pads? Now, if you guys don't know, inside of Revelations, to get from one part of the map to the other, you have to use these launch pads, which are technically just the Wonder Spheres from the Eisendrache. Now, if you guys remember back to a long time ago on Myth-Busting Mondays, we figured out that if you send your friend up on one of the jump pads and then use killing time, they will get stuck in mid-air on the Eisendrache. But is this the exact same on Revelations? I'm going to activate this killing time as soon as Mr. Darley JD jumps onto this launch pad, and let's check this out. Boom! No, dude, he flew straight over to the other part of the map, and it did not work. But what happens if we do this on solo? Can we do it on solo, and will it work? The answer to that is no, dudes, it doesn't. That's so bad. I honestly wish it really would do. And honestly, one of my favorite myths of all time was that Wonder Sphere on the Eisendrache, where we were able to stop the animation with killing time. It was so cool, and I wish we can find something even close to that inside of Revelations. But for right now, the launch pads you cannot stop with killing time. But thank you so much for sending that in, Harry Webb, and let's get on to the next myth of today's show. So the next myth of today's show, guys, is being sent in by Joseph Trelas, and he asks, if you use killing time and fall out of the map, you will not teleport back. Now, I don't know if this is a demand or you're telling me something here, but I gotta go and check it out for myself because it sounds so cool. So, if you guys don't know, you can actually fall out of the map when you are doing the secret wall run near the Eisendrache area where you can get a free perk. Now, when you drop out of the map, Joseph is telling me that if you use killing time, it will not teleport you back to the normal map, which sounds crazy, but we've got to check it out. So let's go for this, boys. So I'm doing the wall run right here. Let's drop the killing time. Let's drop down into the map again, though, and we can see what happens. So here we go. I'm going to drop down right now. Let's see if we'll teleport back, and yes, dude, you still teleport back. So I don't know where Joseph got his information from, but it is wrong. You do still teleport back to the normal map, but thank you so much for sending that in, Joseph, so everyone is now aware that it does not do that. But thank you so much, and let's get on to the next myth of today's show. Now, the second to last myth of today's show, guys, hasn't actually been sent in by anyone. It was actually given to me by a really cool guy that I met at COD XP, and he really wanted to find out that can we break the purple tile for the purple bow on the Eisendrache with the plunger. So if you guys don't know, to get the plunger, you need to set the clock to 935, then go into the pyramid room, and there'll be a special orb. You've got to wall run until it sends you back into like the doctor's quarters, where you can actually collect the plunger. Now that we've got the plunger, let's go and get the purple bow, and let's go over to that purple square, and let's just start meleeing this zombie, and let's see if this can actually break the tile with the plunger. And the answer to this, dudes, is yes! Any melee attack at all breaks that tile, including the plunger. So thank you so much for coming up to me and giving me that myth at COD XP, dude. I appreciate it a lot. You are absolutely freaking awesome. I hope you enjoyed me busting that myth, dude. And let's get on to the final myth of today's show. And the final myth of today's show, guys, is being sent in by Joshua Bliss, and he asks, can you use crate power on the Ragnarok DG4s? Love your videos. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that so much. And can we use crate power, the gobblegum that's supposed to be able to pack a punch or upgrade any weapon inside of that mystery box on the Ragnarok DG4s on Revelations? Dudes, I am excited for this. Come on. Fingers crossed we can get upgraded Ragnarok DG4s, dudes. Let's do this. We've got crate power. Let's go over to the mystery box, boys. Let's spin the box. We do have the Ragnarok DG4s coming out of that box right now. Let's go straight over, boys. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. No, dude, it doesn't work. But maybe, just maybe, there may be an upgrade to the Ragnarok DG4s at some point inside of Revelations. But for right now, you cannot upgrade them with crate power, dudes. I'm so disappointed. There's no way. There's no freaking way. But there you go, Joshua Bliss. Thank you so much for sending that in, boys. And thank you so much to everyone that sent in any myth at all. If you would like to be featured in next week's episode of Myth Busting Mondays, all you've got to do is leave those in the comment section right now, dudes. Any myth at all, leave it inside of the comment section right now. And if you are brand new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button to become the latest member of the Pizza Club. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let's aim for 3,115 likes on this video. You know how we do. And peace out.